Hello everyone. So I'm back. Uh, Today we'll be talking about. Okay. So I'm setting up the screen settings. Let me check how my streaming is happening. I don't have much idea about this, how this is going. I'm live and okay. This is there. Here is the comments window. Comments and connection. It is being shown. Okay. So so folks, let me change to camera window, camera screen. So hello everyone. So I'm back here again. Today I'll be talking about Blazor. Okay, so Blazor, like I have got some questions from people in my friend circle and the community who were interested in learning Blazor. So they have sent me a set of questions which they wanted to know or learn so that they can get started with working on Blazor. Okay, and as usual, I know I am coming after a long gap of around I think 1 month, I guess. So, but yeah. So, but what I'll do is I'll start from complete basics. Okay, so this will be complete basics of Blazor. We'll be talking about what is Blazor, what is Blazor server, what is Blazor WebAssembly, real-time use of both Blazor server and Blazor WebAssembly, and how to go and all those things. Okay, I think I'll use a mix of Hindi and English language so that we have better understanding. Everyone has a good understanding of these things, and let's see how it goes. I'm trying along with it. I might be I'm kind of doing live session after a long time, so I need to do a lot of catch up and I need to check my setup and everything again and again. So I'm sorry if there might be some hiccups here and there. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Here it is. Okay, I'm not able to see how many people are watching me right now. Probably, I don't know. I need to log into my Twitch for that. Let me open my Twitch and see. I won't be sharing my screen as of now. I'll just see that how many people are watching me right now. Okay, so it just says that one person watching. It might be just me because I'm the one person. Okay, so anyways, let's close this thing. So okay, and let me open the questions. Let me open the PPT which has information about Blazor. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show some slides also so that you have clear kind of understanding on. I can explain those things using slides and all. Okay. Wow. So that's how we do live streaming in India. Lights are gone. How do I look in without light? Okay, it's okay. Okay, so folks, okay, let me change the camera screen and then I'll show you what is Blazor. Okay, so Ankur is online and he's saying hi to me. I don't know how can I show this comment. Add to broadcast. Okay. Okay. Hi Ankur. How? Hope you are doing good. So yeah. So Ankur is here. So we are starting with, first of all, the very first question which like people have asked me is, what is Blazor? Okay. So let me explain you what is Blazor. Let me move to this. Let me share my screen. You might be able to see my screen now. And this is the official definition of what is Blazor. Blazor is basically a .NET single page application framework maintained by Microsoft and community using C# and HTML that's run in the browser via WebAssembly. So this runs in the browser via WebAssembly. That is the only definition for Blazor WASM. So basically Blazor is a UI framework for creating different kind of applications. Okay, so it can be a web application, it can be a desktop application also. So right now it is Blazor is a framework, UI framework, web-based UI framework, which can be used for creating like desktop application and web applications. Both of these kind of applications you can create using Blazor. Okay, so Blazor is that is the definition of what is Blazor. Okay, now what is happening? Side, come on. Yeah. So when we talk about Blazor, there are two versions of Blazor. Okay, there are two models, two deployment models of Blazor. So those of you who want to know how these two deployment models differ, you can visit the official documentation, as well as you can see a blog written by me. Go on techirathor.com, and on that blog I have explained like Blazor project structure explained. So if you go read that Blazor project structure explained, I have explained both the project structures right now available on Visual Studio 2019. What kind of projects are there in Blazor? Okay, so as I said, there are right now two hosting models. Okay, we call it as hosting model. So when we talk about hosting models, like how do you host your application, web application, that is called as hosting model. Okay, so Blazor has basically two hosting model. The one which is very versatile is called as Blazor WebAssembly or Blazor WASM. Okay, so there what happens is like all your code is downloaded on your local machine and then it runs on your local machine. Okay, that is Blazor WASM. It's still in preview. Okay, and it is pretty promising. It is being used for creating desktop applications also. Some people are using for creating desktop application also. And while creating Blazor, Microsoft also felt that Blazor is since it's a component based architecture, so Microsoft thought that it would be best suited for creating web assemblies also. Web applications also. Okay, so that's why we have another model that is called as Blazor server model, which runs on the server, but it's a single page SPA application. Both of these are like single page application architecture. Both of these follow single page application architecture, just like your Angular, React and all other frameworks. Okay, so both of these follow these architectures, and so both of these follow the same single page architecture, whether it is Blazor server or Blazor WebAssembly. But the thing is that Blazor WebAssembly run on the client and Blazor server run on the server. Okay, so that's basically difference between Blazor server and Blazor WebAssembly. Real-time use of both Blazor server and Blazor WebAssembly, where we have to go for Blazor server and where you should go for Blazor WebAssembly. So I think the way to start is you should start with Blazor server first. Okay, and later on you can utilize the same code for creating Blazor WebAssembly also. How you can do it, that I have explained in one of my blog article, that is how to create futuristic Blazor application or futuristic Blazor architecture. Okay, I'll show that also to you in one of my I'll show that in using one of my application. Okay, so if you see, let me share my screen. So if you see here, this is my application, sample application. I call it as Expenser. Okay, and if anybody of you have seen my previous streams, they might have seen that I was trying to create this application. I started creating this application in April, but then didn't got time to continue. But anyways, so this I am following the same architecture, that is your futuristic architecture, using which when you can create application in we start with Blazor server, but we can do it with Blazor WebAssembly also. Okay, so and if you want to see this one, TR Blazor EX, this basically this is my Blazor example repository. It has all the examples of my blogs. Right now I have written a couple of Blazor blogs, so literally two blogs I have written. One in which in one I have explained the different project structures of Blazor, and another one I have explained how to create the futuristic Blazor application. And I think no, it's not literally couple. I have written I think 3 Blazor blogs. So and in the third word in the third one I have extended the futuristic architecture to support Blazor WebAssembly also. So if you see this this one Blazor WASM, it says that Blazor WebAssembly, this is the Blazor WASM and this is the Blazor server. So and if you see this one Blazor components, this Blazor components is the common components library which is being used in both Blazor server and Blazor WebAssembly. Okay, so that's that. So Ankur is asking for Blazor WebAssembly, if it downloads all the files on local machine, then it must be very heavy for client browsers. So in that case, if does it affect the performance? Ankur, no, it doesn't affect the performance because the download size is very small. They haven't tested it much, but right now they says that the max download size of a default Blazor application which they have created, couple of Blazor application or samples which they have created, it is around 1.5 to 2.5 MB. So 1.5 to 2.5 MB is very small size, and they are in process of making it more and more smaller. Okay, so it is getting smaller day by day. Okay, so yes, we were talking about the architecture of the application like this. As I was saying, this is the way using which what we are doing is, because the components which are used in Blazor server and Blazor WebAssembly, both of those components are how can I say, both of those components are common components. The same common components can be run in both Blazor WebAssembly as well as Blazor Blazor server as well as Blazor WebAssembly application. Okay, now let's talk about next question, features provided by Blazor. So there are long list of features which are being provided by Blazor. I won't go into that detail. Probably you need to you need to attend one of my sessions or go through the documentation. We will be talking about the features as we go on during the development of our the Expenser application, which will be now I'll try to be regular regular in quotes, because I'll try to be regular, hopefully. On every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, I am thinking of streaming. So let's see how it goes, but we'll be talking about most of the feature. It supports all the features which ASP.NET Core gives you, because it's run on the top of ASP.NET Core. So it supports dependency injection, it supports since it's a component based architecture, so it supports reusability and all those things. Okay, all the details feature you might have to. I'm also speaking about full stack development without JavaScript on a conference, Light Up conference, which is happening next year, next month, July 15th, I guess. I'm not sure about the date, but it's happening on July 15th. So there I'm speaking. So I'll be giving you the detail about what all the features are provided. But we will be going through the features as we move on with developing this application. How good is as compared to traditional .NET MVC application? So when we talk about traditional .NET MVC, so traditional .NET MVC application is your MVC application which runs on regular .NET framework. Okay, so that is a passe, I would say, because as you know, .NET Core is there. So this one is one which supports .NET Core. And when we talk about .NET Core application like .NET Core MVC, ASP.NET Core MVC, and compared to with Blazor, so the difference is there is huge difference, because kind of ASP.NET MVC has reached to its saturation point. The reason is people are since it's not single page architecture based application, so people are moving towards different UI frameworks, JavaScript based UI framework, because they think, some people think and feel that ASP.NET Core MVC is slow. So they follow the new frameworks like Angular or React and all those things. So it's like that. So yeah, the next question which is being asked, that is it provide component to manage UI just like Angular and React? Yes, it provides component to manage just like Angular and React. It is basically a UI framework from Microsoft in competition to Angular and React. Okay, so in order to work with Angular and React, you need to know JavaScript. For working with Blazor, you don't need to know JavaScript. You just need to learn C#. So using C#, you can work on Blazor. So that's the reason. That's how it's compared to traditional MVC and MVC Core, I would say. Okay. Benefits of using Blazor instead of Angular, React, etc. Benefits of using Blazor. I would say, see, Blazor is fairly, I won't say it is very new. Of course, the stable version is pretty new. It was released last year. It has been in beta, alpha, beta since last 2-3 years. But I would say that it all depends on your requirement. What are your requirements? What kind of team you have? Okay, so if you have a .NET shop, so rather than going on learning rather than going on learning Angular or JavaScript, you can easily transition to Blazor. Okay, so learning an Angular and React is a new framework. Okay, so benefit, I would say that the only benefit is if you are a .NET shop, you should go with Blazor, because it's supported by Microsoft. It has hand in hand capabilities. You can reuse your .NET code in Blazor. So those kind of reusability, all the .NET standard libraries can be utilized in Blazor. So all those benefits are available in Blazor. So using that, so those are kind of the benefits. You can say that it can be code reusability, logic reusability, I would say, then less learning curve for .NET developers, of course. So these are kind of the benefits. Okay, so let's start with our application, that is the Xpenser application. Okay, so what I'll do is let me know how much lag do you feel. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm sharing my screen now, and I'm running Visual Studio 2019. Okay, and what I'll do is I will set up my application, this one, not this one, sorry. I'll set up this Xpenser application on my local machine. Okay, so let me copy this thing, and sorry, yeah, okay, so I'll clone this repository, clone a repository here, I'll paste it. So this is my Xpenser application. I'll set it up on C. Is there any my code? Yeah, there, sorry, yeah, C my code. Okay, select folder. Okay, it's saying that it's not vacant, so I'll copy this thing and paste here. Okay, so I'm cloning my Xpenser application here on my Windows machine. This Windows machine is on network, so this is another machine is on the network. So if you feel any lag in the video, let me know. But we'll go through the structure of this project now. Okay, so if you see here, I hope this is readable. I think since I can read on the screen and I'm not projecting it, so everybody can read it on the screen. So I have like Xpenser web, Xpenser UI and Xpenser models. So basically this is the structure which I am following, the futuristic architecture or futuristic project structure which I always advocate for using Blazor applications. So if you see here, okay, so this is as you can see, this is my website, this is my blog, and if you see here, extending futuristic architecture to Blazor WASM and future ready Blazor application architecture. So this future ready Blazor application architecture is the one which I'm following. Okay, so and this blog sample code is available here, and if you see here, it has 3 projects. One is Blazor WASM, one is Blazor server, and one is Blazor components. Okay, let me set up this one also. Okay, and then we can run both of these and I'll show you how this application architecture works. Clone a repository, Control V, clone. So folks, in between these things are getting set up, if you have any further questions, feel free to ask that. Ankur, I hope you are able to get what I'm trying to explain. Feel free to ask any question you feel like. Okay, so if you see here, we have 3 application, like 3 projects in our solution. The first one is like Blazor components, another one is Blazor server, and this one is Blazor WASM. So this Blazor WASM is your Blazor WebAssembly. Okay, it's using, as you can see here, ASP.NET Core Blazor preview version. So it is using all those preview version 3.1 preview and all. Okay, and if you see here Blazor server, this is the Blazor server. It is it's a .NET Core 3 app. Okay, so when I set this as startup project, so I'm setting this up after a long time, guys. I wrote this blog when I think I wrote this blog in in December last year. Okay, so after that lot of updates of Blazor have happened. So I don't know how the Blazor Wasm will react. Blazor server, I know it will work fine. So let's run this application. I don't know why I'm not getting the run window here. So we'll debug it from here, start debugging and see how it goes. Okay, so yeah, so it's basically this project configured to use SSL to avoid SSL warning in the browser. So this is basically a standard a message which comes when we use IIS Express. Okay, so don't ask me again. Yes, I will. Do you want to install this certificate? Yes, that's fine. It is basically a self-signed certificate, so it will work fine. So this is a standard Blazor project, but the difference which you will see here, the default Blazor template which comes with Visual Studio, which we are using, if you see here, is see this Blazor server application. You don't have any folder, we just have the data folder, we have the www root folder, we have the host file, but we don't have the folders which are usually are there in the Blazor application, that is pages, shared, this imports.razor, app.razor. We don't have these folders here. Because these all folders I have kept it in common, so that this components, this UI can be utilized both from Blazor server as well as Blazor Wasm application. So I can so right now, see, if you see the output here, this is basically Blazor server running. Okay, and if you see this thing, if you use the developer tools, more tools, developer tools, so sources, network, so see it is, it has downloaded the Open Ionic. Okay, when we talk about blazor.js, when we talk about JS, it's not showing anything. When I say all these style files are only downloaded. Okay, so and if I do it online, if I change it to offline, it will stop working. Okay, so basically this is how Blazor server work. Okay, so Ankur is asking question that is it possible to use JavaScript also on Blazor app? Like if we have some dependency or need to implement any third-party JS based library, so how we do that in it? Yes, Ankur, there is a possibility to use JavaScript in Blazor app. That feature is called as JavaScript interoperability or JS interop. In simple word, it's called as JS interop. I'll be showing you how to use that feature, but not in today's stream. We'll be talking about that in future stream, maybe to show some alert or something like that. Okay, so that's there, the feature is there. Okay, so yeah, so as I explained, the feature is there. So this is, as you can see here, this is just a Blazor server application. And now what I can see, what I can do here, I can stop this thing. Okay, and let's set Blazor Wasm as the startup project. Okay, and close this thing and then run this thing. unable to connect to web server IIS Express. Okay, so Blazor Wasm has some issues. I don't know what issues. I think I need to use preview version of Visual Studio for running this. I'm not sure about that. So Blazor Wasm is giving us issues. So that's why. Sorry, I'm sorry. So that's why I'm using Blazor server for developing our application, but I'm using this particular setup that keeping the components separate, so that using this separate component library, we can utilize both the libraries in Blazor server as well as Blazor Wasm. Okay, so let me do one thing. I think there are some issues with this Blazor WebAssembly. Let me check whether the NuGet packages of these are updated or not. Okay, so we'll go in manage NuGet packages and we'll see in updates, because since, as I said, I wrote the blog in December, no updates found. Okay, include pre-release. Sorry, since this is a pre-release version. Okay, so select all packages, update. Let's see whether this solves the problem or not. Okay, I accept. Okay, installed. It has preview. Is there any update for this one? Installed version, there is no update. Yeah, okay, so 3.1. okay, so this is the latest preview version. Let's try to run this one more time. Debug, start. Okay, unable to connect to IIS server. I think I need to toolbars. Yeah, toolbars, debug. Yeah, debug location. Okay, no. So there was one toolbar. There used to be a toolbar where I can set up this thing. I'm sorry guys, the problem is that I usually use Visual Studio for Mac, but streaming, I thought that it would be better to use Visual Studio for Windows, basically because Visual Studio for Windows, one, I am running it on a different machine, and it keeps low load on my network as well as on my Mac. So earlier what I saw was like my videos were laggy and there was a delay in my video and all those things. So in order to save from all those hassles, I thought that I'll be using this one, but let me see where is that toolbar, this toolbar, where source control, standard, table, text editor, web browser. Let me check this web browser toolbar. What is there in this web browser toolbar? Come on, man. This is Blazor Wasm. Team Explorer solution. No other windows. Web browser. No. Probably. Maybe next time. I'll find it next time and then we'll see. So there is an option basically to change output. Let me see whether it is available here. Okay, other debug, target, performance, start without debugging, step over, options. What is this options? No. So what I'm talking about is there is an option to change that whether I want to run my application on IIS Express, or I can use the Crystal server to do this. Ankur, do you have any idea like how you can do this thing? Anyone on the broadcast does have any idea like which toolbar do I have to use to change the instead of using, like, it's right now it's trying to connect to IIS, okay, but I don't want to connect to IIS. I want to connect to this thing. So okay, it seems like I'm stuck here. What is this? Add remove buttons, navigate, configuration, debug type. Let's see what's showing on debug type. Solution Explorer, find browser link, object browser, no. Team Explorer, no. Select startup item, I don't need this. Project configuration, that's fine. Let manage extension, I don't need this. Okay, no, it's not there. Which button is this? This is bad. Forward, no, not this one. Okay, which one is it? Okay, start debugging is here. Show threads in source, no. Windows, no. Step over, this is this. Customize, let me see what all toolbars are there. Toolbars, application build. Okay, debug location. Wow. Okay, debug location. Web browser, where is this? Okay, let me see. This one was add remove button, text forward. Why do I need web browser? I don't need this toolbar. I don't know why I have added this one. Okay, leave it. I don't think so. I think let's leave it for now. Will let me just commit the changes which I have done. Updated NuGet packages. Okay, probably next time we'll run this thing. Let's sync this. So probably next time I'll try to run this once again, or when I'm offline I'll try to see how I can change the like configuration to use IIS instead of using IIS Express. I can use Crystal to run the server. So Crystal, if you don't know, Crystal is the default cross-platform local server which is used to run .NET Core applications. So that's that. So I think we will try. I'll try to do it probably on the Wednesday stream. I'll try to rerun this project again, and I can show you how I'm utilizing this application like this component. So the main idea was to create the components separately. Okay, so create the components in a separate project so that I can utilize the same component. So if you let me show it from the project references. So if you see here that in dependencies in projects, you can see Blazor components projects dependency is on this one also, and if you see here on the project here also in the dependencies projects Blazor components is there. Okay, so that this way you can see that I am running this application both like I am using the same components which I have written here on Blazor server. Okay, so Ankur is suggesting me to go on Ankur is suggesting me to try to go on properties and debug option. Okay, so let me see. Go on properties, debug options, project. Okay, properties. Okay, this is configuration properties, startup project, startup multiple project, that is different. Debug source files, no. What debug options you are saying, Ankur? Not this one. Okay, anyway, we'll see it next time, no problem. Okay, so as I was saying, so this particular, these all components can be reused in both Blazor Wasm and Blazor server. Okay, so I'll try again. Once again, I'll try to restart the development of Expenser application. And like for those who haven't so for those who want to understand the database structure of the Expenser and all those things, I have created a video earlier, done the Twitch stream earlier, and that is available on my YouTube channel. Okay, so okay, Ankur is saying something about so in Windows VS we have debug option to change that config. Where, Ankur, where is that debug option? Okay, in debug you are saying here. Okay, in options, just in time output window, symbols. Are you talking about this? General? No, not this one, yaar. Basically, see, I have used this, I don't know, but this is like during the updates I missed this thing, but here there was an option to choose the browser. Like right now, if you see debug, I don't, Blazor Wasm debug properties. Okay, so see, Blazor Wasm. Okay, launch project. Okay, launch browser. Okay, so see here, yeah, this is the debug properties. So I have changed this profile launch project, and I'm running this Blazor project. Okay, let's try to run it now. It's still using IIS. I don't want to use IIS for this one. IIS Express executable. Okay, use remote. No. This is not the one which I'm talking about. Okay, profile Blazor Wasm. It says profile Blazor Wasm. Okay. Yeah, but still it's still asking me for running this thing. When I run this, if you see, it's still giving unable to connect to web server IIS Express. And why it's asking me to connect to web server IIS Express, I need to change, like I am launching this as an executable. I'm using the profile as Blazor Wasm. No, leave it for now. I think it is because I think it most probably it's because I'm using the stable version of Visual Studio. Okay, so let's do one thing. I have the preview version of Visual Studio also installed on my machine. So let's close this project here and let's open the preview version of Visual Studio. So yes, I have set up this Windows machine for my preview people also, like we can do the preview version of Visual Studio also, and the code which we have to install is open projector solution, and yeah, Ankur, let's do one last try on like Visual Studio, this preview version of Visual Studio. Okay, so I'm using the preview version of Visual Studio. Let's try one last time here, because this is the only one, like I think it might be because of like preview version it's not happening. So let's try it one last time on the preview version, and if it works then fine. If it doesn't work, we'll move to the Expenser application. Okay, Okay, so for preview version, it's asking me that there is an update right now available. I'll do that update later on. And Blazor default is, yeah, see this is the this is the option I was talking about. If you see here, I have this option like IIS Express is there. I can select this Blazor Wasm. Okay, so if I select this Blazor Wasm, and you can see the web browser, which one I can use, Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Edge 2. Okay, so I'm talking about this particular feature I'm not seeing in the stable version of Visual Studio 2019. I don't know why I'm not seeing this, but yes, this is the feature I was talking about. Okay, so if I run this thing, let's see how it goes. So this is the Blazor Wasm. Debug profile is missing path to the executable to debug. Okay, so this is some debug profile. Let's run this as an executable. Unable to start debugging, the startup project cannot be run. Ensure that the correct project is set up. Starter project additional. Okay. Script web browser, this Chrome beta project. Let's run this as project. No. Okay, none of these options are working. Okay, IIS Express. Let's run this as IIS Express. Finally, it will run on IIS Express. Okay, unable to connect to web server IIS Express. I don't know what's happening. Okay, let's leave it for now. We'll run this thing later on. Okay, so let's get back to our application, that is Expenser web application. Okay, so as I said, the architecture which we are following is futuristic architecture, where we are creating the UI in a separate project. I might be repeating myself again and again, and I'm sorry for that, but this is an important concept to understand. So I'm sorry. So what we are doing here is, like, if you see here, Expenser web is your main, it's just the web project head. This is your Blazor server application. Okay, this Expenser UI is the Blazor components, the same Blazor components earlier which we talked about. This is the components which this UI can be reutilized further in Blazor WebAssembly when we want to. Okay, so we can add a Blazor WebAssembly project there, and we can utilize this Expenser UI in that Blazor WebAssembly. And for that, I have written a blog also how to do that. If you see this, extending futuristic architecture to Blazor Wasm. So if you read this blog, using this blog, we can utilize this in Blazor Wasm. But for now, let's understand this whole pages and this whole concept of how this Blazor project is set up. Okay, so when we talk about Blazor like project structure, this is the project structure, whether it is Blazor WebAssembly or Blazor server. Both of all of them has this project structure, this common project structure, that is this pages, shared, www root, imports.razor, app.razor. Okay, so we'll go one by one. This app.razor is your basically the main router engine. Okay, this app.razor it's kind of the starting point of your Blazor application. Okay, so this basically that's why it's saying that default layout is equal to main layout. So when we talk about layout is here in this shared folder. Okay, so this shared folder is basically the folder which is available throughout this whole UI application. Okay, so this shared folder contains this main layout, nav menu, root layout. So all these like different type of layout is similar to your master pages. In MVC also there is a layout file. Okay, so the same thing in here, it is layout.razor. So layout is basically, if we open this main layout basically inherits layout component base. So this layout component base is the one which is used to create the layout. So it's kind of a master page, or it's kind of a base first page on which the whole application is layouted. Okay, so you can set the layout header and everything, or these things are set up. Okay, and I'll explain this source code later on, but let's understand one by one pages. So as I said, first one, this this app.razor. So this is the this is the main page, app.razor, which is the router, which basically run this thing, holds all the base. It's kind of the base of the Blazor application, which holds the application. Okay, and it has the main layout. That is your type of main layout. That is right now we are using this main layout as the layout which is being used throughout the application, and we will understand layout in much better when we'll implement login in our application. So we'll implement login, so we'll use two different layout, authorize, unauthorized, and all those things. So when we use this, that thing, we'll understand it in much better way, but right now this is how it is being used. Okay, so this router is basically the main routing engine, the URL, the routing which happens in Blazor, it is done by this app.razor. Okay, this imports.razor is like we can create as many imports.razor as we want. Okay, so first of all, imports.razor is just a file which is used for using, like writing all the using statements. So we can, so that we don't have to write the using statements again and again, we can write it at this common place. Okay, so that we can utilize this like imports you can utilize these library as different places. Okay, if you want, you can create an imports.razor in pages also. Some people have done it in their projects, but I prefer to use one single imports.razor project. So imports.razor is the one which like has all the import statement, all the using statement, which all libraries we are going to use in the application. Okay, this shared folder is the folder which has the common libraries. Usually it's a practice to keep the layouts in the shared folder. So whatever common components which are being used in the application, we keep it in the shared folder. Okay, so like this main layout, as I said, main layout is the very first layout which is being called. Okay, so let me run this application. And when we run this application, I'll show you how this application is running and what all things are coming, which all menus are there. Okay, and I'll explain you this layout structure also. And another thing is that I'm using a third-party library, UI library for Blazor. There are many third-party UI libraries for Blazor. Like in my previous stream, I have tried a couple of different UI libraries, like Materialize was one of them. Then there was this thing, Materialize was one of them. Sorry, Matte Blazor was one of them. Then I tried to use one, I think there was a couple of other. So yeah, SK Blazor library was one of them. Okay, but then finally I decided to use Blazorize. Okay, the reason behind using Blazorize was, let me show you this one. See this. Yeah, so this library I am using, Blazorize. Let me show you the demo of this library. Yeah, this, see, Blazorize Bootstrap server demo, and there is the docs also for this. So if you see this is the Blazorize documentation. Is like when I click on this, it will, yeah, see, this is the documentation. So if you see here, while most of the component, okay, that's fine. This is, so why Blazorize? So if you learn this why Blazorize and look into FAQs of Blazorize, see, this is the Blazorize is a user interface component library made on the top of web framework or Blazor. Okay, that's fine. And CSS frameworks like Bootstrap, and Design, Bluma, and Material. So the benefit of using Blazorize is like I can utilize I can understand the Blazorize UI framework, and I can utilize all the CSS which are available in market, like Bootstrap is the most popular one, then Bluma is there, and Design Material. So Matte Blazor has, like Matte Blazor UI library has 15,000 no, not 15,000, sorry, 1500 downloads, okay, on NuGet. If you go on NuGet packages, you will it gives you how many downloads of that NuGet package is there. So 1500 downloads are there for Matte Blazor. This one has around 1000 downloads. Blazorize has around 1000 downloads, okay. But the benefit which I found with Blazorize is that I can use all the libraries, like I can use Material, I can use Bluma, I can use Ant Design. So that's why I decided to go with Blazorize, okay. So it has all the features. And when you use any third-party library, all the third-party library, they use their own layout structure, okay. So if you see here, this is basically Blazorized layout structure. So right here is this bar style is there, so layout header is there, say this navigation bar, brand, bar menu, bar end, bar start is there, and then this layout header is there, layout insider, this nav menu is there. So this nav menu is not needed usually if you go on the Blazorize documentation. It is like this, and right now if you use the latest version of Blazorize, this has been changed. So this sidebar is like sidebar item is now changed to just bar. So there are different components. So if you go on the documentation here of the Blazorize, you have like components, like there is this sidebar. So earlier this sidebar was used to show the sidebar menu, okay, but now they have also given you another component that is called as bar, like this one. So yeah, so this bar is the one which is used to show the top bar horizontal, and it has option to show horizontal and vertical menus and everything, okay. So we can utilize this to create the bar like menus and all. So if you use any kind of third-party library, those libraries have different layout structure, okay. And let me open what I'll do in parallelly, because we will see the default structure of the code, okay. So let me open the same. I'm sorry, I closed that project, the Blazor EX project. There the server was also running, we unnecessarily closed that thing. So yeah, tr Blazor EX. Feel free to ask any questions, guys. I'm saying this again and again. Okay. Yeah, so Blazor server. So if you see here, see this is the main layout, and this main layout has only the divs the code written in HTML, okay. So this is a common HTML code, and what you will see is like this in this let's understand this main layout. It's pretty much similar to your layout.chtml in MVC. It is pretty much similar to that. You have this div and all the structure here, and this at body represent whichever component it is being shown right now, okay. So this at body will contain that particular component, okay. And you will say that where is the whole HTML? So the whole HTML is available in, when we talk about the Blazor server, it is available in this host.chtml, okay. So in host.chtml you can see here the whole code is there. Your this particular JS library, this is responsible for all the communication related to client server communication, which is happening from your UI to the server. It is being done by this. You don't have to touch this JS file. It is there. You don't have to touch this JS file. Whatever JS code you have to write, you will write in a separate JS file. We'll talk about that later whenever we go through that. And this is the Bootstrap min.css being used in the application. This is the regular style sheet, like the site.css, which is available in if you see here in CSS folder. Okay, so this is, we have this site.css and all those things. Okay, so it has the site, and it's the namespace. I'm using the Blazor components, and if you see here, see html.render component async app. So this, what is this app? This is this app.razor file. Okay, so this app.razor file is being called from here CHTML. Then this app.razor further call this main layout, and then inside this main layout, this add body tag has this whatever default body tag, like whatever default page is there, it will be shown here. And if we see this nav menu, so this nav menu contains this links. So if you see here, this is your first link, that is your default. So this href blank means that this is the default page. So this page has, when we open this one, href default, this, if you see here in our pages folder, we have index and counter. Okay, so when we see index, see here this @page. So this is the identifier to show the page. So this slash means that this is the default page. So if somebody doesn't give anything on the URL, it will show this page. Okay, so when I run this application, okay, wow, now the WASM, okay, it's not running. Let me set the server as a startup. I don't know, I'm not able to run the WASM thing. Okay, set a startup project. Okay, so when I set this as see, if you see this URL, there is nothing here, and by default home is this hello world. Okay, so when I click on counter, you will see here this counter is coming here. So how this counter is coming here, if you see the code, so if you see this code here, we have in Blazor components, this is the counter page. See here on the page, I have written this page /counter. Okay, so this basically this is your kind of route. So this @page directory we use to define the route of the page. So whichever page you want to open, we give this identifier. So now I can use this component. This is basically a component. This counter is a component. Okay, so what I can do, even I can run this counter is your, and this index.razor. So inside this index.razor, I can run write like this. Okay, I can write like this. So what will happen, in Blazor everything is a component. So every page, whatever page is available here, so right now I can use counter in this index.application like this. So if I rerun this thing, you will see that counter will also appear on the index. Okay, so this is the component based architecture. So I can utilize one component from one component in a different page also. Okay, so every page in itself is a component. So I can counter, like, see, I'm using counter inside this hello index page, and this counter is coming directly. So this way I can reutilize the components inside the same folders, inside the different places. So that's way this particular routing okay, so this particular route is this is your this page directive, this is your main routing. Okay, this page directive is the one which identifies the component. If we don't give this page directive, we won't be able to reutilize it at different places. Okay, we can of course use it by the file name, okay, by the control name, but we can't root like use it as a root. Okay, so how can we can utilize is as a component, like every page in itself is a component, and if we don't give this page directive, so when we give this page directive means that we can separately call this as a separate page, but if we don't give this as a page directive, we can still utilize this as a component. So that is the difference. So how, let me show you in our Expenser application. If you see here, there is this content panel. Okay, so this content panel is using some component. This is like card component, card header is there, card row, card body, and all those things. So this is basically a common content component which I have created just for like to be used in all the app, like everywhere. So what I'll do is like this, see, content panel is there. So in any of my page, if I want, this application is running, I guess, right? We have this Blazor server and then another one, sorry, yeah, Expenser. So we have this different applications. So counter receipts. Okay, so this is just the menu. Okay, so this is not working. So yeah, this is the counter page. It's being shown here. Yeah, it's being shown here. So this is the counter being shown. So since I haven't set up this code completely for using the Blazorize library, we will be doing it later on. So this is how it works basically. Right now this is not being set completely, like this is not being set properly, so that's why it's not appearing in a correct manner. Okay, ideally it will appear like this sample of Blazorize. This sample, it will appear like this, but with different color, of course, because I'm using different CSS for my this thing. Okay, so as I was talking here, so this common, like I can use this. If you see here, this counter is there. I don't have another page, so let's do one thing. Let's stop running this application. Let me, this mic is hindering me, so let me know if you guys face any problem with the sound. Okay, I'm just keeping the mic aside, and let's do one thing. Okay, so Ankur is asking a question. Let's suppose we have a component like a login form. So how and where we would get the input provided by user? So for getting the input provided by user, of course, you will have to use a text box and all those things, all the control. So you have to design the whole UI for that. Okay, so let's start with doing that. Okay, so what I do is like usually I set up the screen flow like this, what I do inside the pages folder, I create the further like pages. Okay, yeah, you have in, sorry. So if you see this one, this code, so this is, see, this is the default Blazor code. So if you see here, @ code, so this section is the one where you do the all the things. We don't have that controller kind of thing here in Blazor. Okay, so what we usually do in Blazor is like we can create a separate class which inherits. So if you see this code, what I have done is like in index I have created this index base. Okay, so see, this index base is kind of a component. It's being inherited from component base, and this index base has all the properties. Okay, like this. So this index base is your main component base class, which has and you can do all the activities here. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's create a page here. So before doing this, what we'll have to do is, first of all, we have to like correct this main layout, because what is happening is this main layout has like this particular structure is not correct. Okay, so we have to decide upon the menu options for the account. Okay, so if you see here, sorry, yeah, expenser. So it's customization of, okay, yeah, it's a complete customization. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a complete customized Blazor expenser library. So controller to handle user input. In Blazor we have code behind files or the code section to handle the user input. Okay, so in order to handle the user input we have the code section. So first of all, let's fix this layout section. Okay, so in our shared section I'll remove this nav menu, because since I'm using Blazorize, as I said, I'm using the Blazorize, I don't need this nav menu. If we see the code of Blazorize, yeah, here it is. So this is the Blazorize code. Okay, and in Blazorize, when we go on the source, this is the Blazorize source. No, we have to go on the demos. Okay, so if you download this Blazorize source code and run this application, you have different application, like these are the different heads, and this Blazorize demo, it's using, like, every Blazor application or every Blazor component library is using the same architecture which I have explained earlier, that they are keeping the UI library, UI code in a separate project and utilizing that UI code in different heads. Okay, so if you talk about this one, Blazorize demo.bootstrap.rc, so this bootstrap.rc is the Blazor server running this one. Okay, this one runs Blazor server. This bootstrap.server also runs Blazor server. This bootstrap is basically WebAssembly based. This ant design is WebAssembly based. This ant design.server runs Blazor server ant design component of like Blazorize. Okay, so these all are different heads, but if you see here, this Blazorize is the main, like this is the main demo components. Okay, so this is how they have architected the application so that they can utilize the same demo component everywhere. So if you download this code, okay, if you download and run this code on your local open this project on your local Solution Explorer, local Visual Studio, you will see that it has this thing. It has just the head. It has just the head. So if you see this RC, it just has the head, and inside pages you can just see it has one single host.html, nothing else. All the code, rest of the code is coming from, if you see this project, CS project, it's coming from this blazorize.demo. Okay, so we'll go in blazorize.demo, we'll go in layouts. Okay, this is root layout and main layout. We'll just use the main layout. Okay, so this is the main layout, and it is using all these things. And if you see here, Ankur, to answer your question, see, this is how he is using the code. So this is your code base. This is the place where he is writing the code, and this is the place where he is writing the writing the XAML, HTML. Okay, so this is the place where he is writing the HTML, and this is the place where he is writing the code, and this @body is the one which is calling the different page body and everything. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll copy paste this whole thing. Okay, and we'll update this menu and everything. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's go in the raw view. We'll Control A, Control C. Here, Control V. I have pasted everything here. Okay, so I have set up this thing. I'll save this. Okay, now it's showing this. It's asking me for the custom icon, this image. I don't need this custom icon, so for now what I'll do is I'll remove this custom icon. Okay, we'll decide what icon to show. We'll rename this as expenser. Okay, and this one, so this is bar brand. Okay, and this says bar start, bar end. So this is the left hand side menu, and this is the top menu which shows your Blazorize demo. It is written on like this. So let's write expenser here also, expenser. Okay, and this bar toggle, it is coming at the end. So what will happen, I'll call this thing here, command V, and here I'll say style display block. Okay, so sorry, Control S. Let's run this thing and see how it works. Okay, there are errors. So found marker extension, bar icon, bar level, bar label. Okay, so it's giving me so many errors, and all those errors are because I haven't updated the NuGet package, because I'm using the latest this Blazor library. So if I go on updates, I remove this include pre-release. Okay, see, it's saying so many things, so I'll select all, update. It'll take some time to updating all these things. Okay, I'll say yes, I accept. Everything is updated, and okay, now you can see that there is only two error coming up. That is that found markup extension, this one. So this is basically if you see the sample here, this is for this theme collector and all those things. We don't need this in our application, so I'll remove this thing. Okay, and we'll see how this thing, and then there is, okay, so this error is also gone. So now if I run this code, oops, okay, sorry, okay, like this. So this issue happened because I just hit control and mouse cursor, so that's why. So I was trying to do Control S and then this. Okay, so let's run this thing now. Hopefully, okay, now it's showing this one. So after this update of Blazorize, new update of Blazorize, we have this validation summary. There is ambiguity error in this validation summary. Okay, so it has, Blazorize also has a validation summary, and Microsoft ASP.NET Component Forms also have validation summary. So I'm not using this validation summary as of now, so I'll remove this thing. I'll save this again and I'll run this code once again. Debug, run. Build succeeded. Our application is running now. Cool. Okay, You can see here expenses is written here. See, this is your menu. So this icon is coming here. This is basically, this icon shows or hide this menu. And if you see this, this is like, this is kind of a page being designed here, which I have designed. This is just a page. Okay, so this is the drop down menu in this yeah, this is a drop down menu. This is the tab control. So this is very ill designed page. Okay, we'll be continuing on designing the page further and making this thing whole beautiful all again in next session. I think we have done like today was like 1 hour session where I have explained what is Blazor, how how the Blazor project structure is explained and everything. Okay, so we have designed this thing, we implemented this Blazorize library here, and this code is running right now. I have updated this project. See, theme enable, gradient, routed theme. So I'll remove these things in next stream. What I'll do, I'll try to remove all these things, and people who are running on this who are parallelly watching this stream, you can try this code is completely open source, so you can try and run this application on your local on your local machine. So sorry, this one Expenser on your local machine, and next we'll try to do the application features. We have account management, income expense management, all these things, features which we'll be developing one by one. So what we'll do is like in next stream, what we'll do, we'll try to set up the login screen. Okay, so we'll create the login screen for this application, and we'll try to run this application we use the login functionality where we can log in and then we can do see the menus. Without login we can't see the menus, so we can go through the feature of authorization and authentication in this. Okay, so yeah, so I hope you like this stream, and if you want to join me again on Wednesday and Friday. We'll be continue developing this application. So till then, take care. Bye bye.